So before we start with the last call presentation, there will be some lightning talks after the break after this talk. Lightning talks concept is, I believe, 5 minutes to say almost anything, ideally related to Python. We have 2 lightning talks, I believe, from Honza and Peter today.
Yeah.
Yes, great. Yes. So, well, yeah, the concept is you just, if you want to say something, you can do that. You have 5 minutes to say it. You can have presentations, or you can just tell us anything you want. So, the last talk, cherry on top, creme de la creme. So, Honza, okay. Round of applause. So Honza is not nervous at all, and he will tell us something about his life as a community person. Thank you. You can start.
Something about my life.
Yeah.
So this is talk about my life. I'll try to not to shadow the light from the projector. Hi. I'm Honza. This is me when coding. I've been doing a lot of things in the past. You might know a company called Mercado. I've been one of the first people there. They still remember me and ask me strange questions like, why did you use MongoDB before that and that? Then after some time I went to Apiary, and it was a cool startup. I spent quite fun time there, and then it was acquired by Oracle, and I learned how corporations work and so on, and that was fun time as well. And I quit, and today is my last day in my job, and I'm here to celebrate it because I moved to Prague to join Apiary, and my last day of my job, I jump on a train and get back to Brno. Yeah, this is already too long. My new endeavor is Junior Guru. It's a site which tries to help people get into tech and to learn programming and get their first job in tech. I brought some stickers. I got them printed recently, so they are still fresh. So you know why I'm having this talk here, so this gives me some credit. I somehow contributed to all the things over there, the logos there, and I made the Python, the CZ website. And let's start with the lessons learned. So, how it all started? Well, first lesson I learned is learn by organizing. So in 2009, my career looked like this. Basically, I did PHP for a living, and I really liked Python. It looked like a cool language, but I couldn't afford to learn it or something like that because I did PHP for my living. But I was learning Python bit by bit and getting better at it, but still I was a beginner and didn't know much. I wanted to learn more, right? So, well, at a certain point, I've seen on Twitter that someone went to a Ruby meetup in Brno. I felt like, cool, that's so cool. I would go as well, but if it was like a Python meetup. And I asked, like, are there any Python meetups? And they said no. Start one. So I did that, and I started this meetup in 2010. But I didn't know Python, you know, usually people start these meetups. They already know the thing. They're experts. Like it happened in Prague, it happened at other places in Bratislava. They knew the stuff, so they could step in. If you don't have speakers, if you don't have like experienced people talking at the meetup, you just step in and you give the talk because you can, because you know all the stuff. You're early adopter, you know all the libraries, you know all the topics, and you can educate others. I couldn't. So I got better in organizing, networking, and sourcing speakers because I couldn't speak myself. I got better in Python because I was at all the events. I got to learn some Ruby too eventually because we joined the meetup with Rubists and then they disappeared. And I didn't give a talk at Pyvo until 2012, which is 2 years. I just was organizing and learning, and in 2012 I had my first real talk at Pyvo. And after the talk, people smiled at me and told me like, well, we thought it will be something more advanced. So the lesson here is I started a meetup because I wanted to learn the topic. So you don't have to actually, if you bring your own speakers, so you don't have to really know the thing. You can learn by organizing. And it's similar in PyLadies where you have organizers and lecturers and so basically one way to get into PyLadies courses is like you apply and you get selected, but another way is like you actually help with organizing, right? Or like if at least in Prague, if it don't fit somehow, they can organize their own course because the materials are open source and so on. So you can organize your own courses and sessions and so on, and that's the way how you learn, and you actually get a lot of benefits out of that on top. And yeah, they can organize it. But that's a solvable problem, right? So choose the right event for your town. That's the second lesson. Should be fast. So we already had meetups in two beautiful cities, Brno and as you can see, beautiful city of Prague. And we thought like, okay, so we are experiencing organizing meetups in those two places. We are super experienced now, and we should bring these great ideas to other places as well. It can be hard, right? So we decided that there is uncolonized place, and it's just a matter of bringing the great ideas there, and only a matter of that spark, and it will just kindle a new meetup there. We got some support from local companies, so everything. And actually, we did the first meetup there, and it was amazing. Like a lot of people showed up. There were talks and yeah, everything like that. Amazing yeah. So we're after like the Ostrava people started to struggle a bit, and we felt like what's wrong? Basically, the only event we had at the time was the meetup, and we didn't really distinguish between types of events. Like a slight follow-up to your talk, but we didn't really distinguish between types of events because when you have only one type, then you don't need to distinguish. And so we thought like Pyvo is the solution for everything, and it turned out not to be a solution for us though, because Pyvo is a networking event, and to do networking you need it's interesting, especially for people with advanced knowledge, and how do you get people, like any people, when there are no people, and the solution is to actually teach. So I think the Ostrava Pyvo, I'm not really updated about that, but the Ostrava Pyvo might be even struggling till these days. But what is definitely not struggling there is PyLadies, which got founded there, and that is the best thing which thrives in Ostrava. Perhaps your town isn't too small for events specialized to Python, which is an argument I've heard. At other places, perhaps networking event isn't the best fit for your town. That's all. Another lesson. I'll start with a quote from Mark Twain. They didn't know it was impossible, so they did it. So this is what happened. Certain Thomas came to Python mailing list back at the time and came with an idea. Let's make a conference. So to have a Czech Python conference, it was in minds of people for years at the time. They were dreaming about it, like they definitely wanted it. But it was in their heads for so long that basically it became something unreachable and so complex, so, you know, so big. The community didn't seem to be ready for this kind of task. So he came to the mailing list and asked, like, what about we do the conference? And he got really mild responses, like I'd say, like, and you can see me among the people there. It's like I don't have, yeah, I'm the second from the left, and so I was among these nicers, like. He got really mild responses like, yeah, well, good luck, good idea, yeah, I'll help, maybe if I have time. And something like, yeah, maybe you should change the scope, maybe make it smaller, maybe one day would do, and we try whether any people show up. And some people just said impossible, like where do you get the money or whatever. And after a while of discussing these things, Tomáš decided to reply something like, hey, what about I just do it? And help me if you want. And he did it. And the Python was born. So the lesson here is do things which are impossible. Don't let people tell you that they are impossible. They are possible. So another lesson. Kick off alone, but replicate in time. So I created a Python.cz website. It was a simple website. It took me a few hours. It was just, hey, we have a Python community here. Go to Pyvo, and we have a non-profit, and I don't know. These are companies which probably use Python. I don't know. And so I did it, and it was super efficient because I did it myself. I didn't consult anyone. And then I made it a community website because suddenly it was a community website. It scales better because people can fix things, and you know they're there when you're on vacation and stuff. But sometimes agreeing can get slow because if you want to make big changes, the community or the group is really good in following the path. They're good in increments and little improvements. But if you want to make a big change and you have a vision or you want a new version of the website, like completely new version, you would get totally lost discussing like whether that's a good idea or not. So I think I call it a pull request method. Like you branch off the group and you start to work on something real, on a solution. You prepare the solution or half prepare the solution and you show it to the group like, would this work? Would you like this? And that works much better because then you have something at hand you can discuss, and it actually makes sense to discuss it. So when I wanted a new version of the website, I forked the current website and made a new version. And yeah, in the beginning, basically, I wanted to make it community thing. So I made a pull request to my own code and tried to get people review it. And after a few like these, Peter just came to me and said, "Hey, please just do it. Don't try to get people to review the pull request because it's like only like that. We don't have time for this. Just do it, and then bring the whole thing and ask whether it makes any sense." And that's the correct approach. another case study. It's like which projector to buy. Like we needed a projector for Ostrava, and we like decided that we will buy it in 2 minutes. I don't know. Like we decided immediately that we will buy it as non-profit pivots. That was okay. But then there was endless discussion of which buttons should have which color, which type, which like you name it. So it was impossible to do it. Like it was impossible to finish the discussion. So what I think should have happened is like the person who needs the projector needs to explore the market, choose the projector which they want, and come to the group and say, I want this particular projector, it costs this money, and it's the best projector which fits my needs. Do you want to pay for it? The group would say, yes. And that would be it. So again, like you can, I call it a pull request method, but actually it applies to more things than like code. So just do it. Kick off alone. It's efficient. In the beginning, it's the most efficient method of starting things. Kick off alone, do it, and show others how to do it. Requests, comments, so on. But. So, another case study. PyLadies in Brno started, or actually like PyLadies in the Czech Republic started, with someone kicking it off very efficiently. 2 in 1, organizer and lecturer. And it makes total sense, right? Because you just book a room, you get people in and you teach them. It's like super efficient to do it yourself. Why would you outsource any parts of that process? For a start, it makes total sense. But then, the problem is that the problem is that when the thing grew larger and it got more complicated and it got more time demanding, you as an organizer and lecturer and what not roles, you become a god for other people. And being God prevents duplication and leads to burnout. Because people don't try to help gods, they admire them. People don't try to become gods, they admire them. They come with sacrifice. You know? So as a god, you are slowly burning out, and all you get is like, oh, we like your teaching so much, here's chocolate. And it's like, don't be a god for too long at least. The solution is to split roles, and then it's easier to have people like, oh, there's an organizer, and what they do is they invite people to a room and send a few emails. So I could do that, yeah, why not? Or a lecturer, well, they come to a room at a certain time and they teach and then they go home. I could do that, yeah, why not? That's possible to replicate. So that's the solution. And also what helps is documentation. That's tremendous help. We have this docs.pivots.org where there's documentation about all sorts of things in the Czech Python community. And like we document all sorts of things, like the course, how to organize a meetup, how to organize a course or whatever, how to promote conference. And I wrote this one when I was organizing the meetup, still organizing the meetup in Brno. I felt like we, after years of organizing, like 5 years of organizing this meetup, we have a lot of experience, and but the experience is in our heads, and we should write it down because it's a know-how, and I don't know, it could get lost, or we can share it with other people. So I wrote it down, and nobody read it, and I felt like, I'm a talkative person and I write long emails. I write a lot of stuff nobody reads, so that's normal. But then I've been to a Python sprint and I've seen people actually reading it. And I didn't send it to them, or I didn't tell them to read it. Those were people, like they were about to start a meetup in Plzeň. And at a certain point of community history, there was some point when more meetups started to pop up, apart from Brno, Prague, and Ostrava, and more meetups appeared, and I don't even know most of the people starting them, and they probably read that guide how to start a meetup, because it's there. So the docs were really helpful for replication of the thoughts we had, the experiences we had, and the culture. If you notice the slide here, it actually starts with culture, like how the thing actually works, like how it should feel. So, but one important thing about docs is you have to make them discoverable, so people can actually find them. Another thing, your job isn't done yet if you are the only one doing it. So I was organizing or co-organizing Brněnské Pyvo for 5 years, and then I moved to Prague, and I was still going here every month and organizing the meetup, and I felt like I'm old fart. There should be new people coming in with new thoughts. They were telling me what about the topic, this topic? I said, we already had it. Well, we already had it, but 3 years ago, so I was really out of ideas, and I was from Prague, coming every month, not sustainable. So I felt like I should quit this job, and but I didn't feel like I can quit the job just like that, because it wouldn't be nice. So we were trying to hire orgs and sharing tasks, rotating shifts, and somehow enlarge the team, organizing the meetup. And I left, and the meetup still exists without its founder, and that's amazing. 9 years of that meetup. Come on, it's really nice. So another thing, what I did after that meetup, I joined the PyCon CZ organizers team, and I was doing public relations and social media there. And I came to a moment where I was being God, and I didn't want to be a god, and I was definitely burning out after a few years. So with the head of the conference, we decided I should get a Padawan, so it gets easier for me, and there is a replacement for me. So I started hiring in the community, and I said, I'm here completely responsible for the matter. I'll mentor you, I'll give you some tasks, I'll teach you, I'll show you everything, and you'll be just helping me. The only thing you need is being interested in this matter, and have a Facebook account, Twitter account, and this kind of stuff. And I hired 4 or 5 people, and volunteering. So we ended up with 1 or 2 in the end. Basically around the period when I started to share tasks, and I found Aneška as my Padawan, and just having her as the one who helped me with the tasks, it was amazing, because at that point I wasn't alone for the job. I could share the burden of this has to be posted at this particular time, and you can't be sick, you can't be busy, you can't be in cinema. You could basically divide the tasks, and each of us could probably still live a nice life. And And so it actually slowed down my burnout a lot. And it avoided the buzz factor, because if, I don't know, I disappeared into the high school community, you could still have a nice conference. And I think ideally all Python CZ orgs would be teams of at least 2, because it's really, I experienced it, and it's amazing feeling. And I also wrote the docs, so all know-how I have, and I did try and error, you know, all that stuff. I wrote it down, so actually it's there for people to read and to follow. And eventually I moved on. Eventually, after 4 years dedicated to co-organizing the conference, I moved on, and suddenly I had some time to organize also event for people. So, yeah. So if you quit without handover, everything you've built gets lost. Like if I quit after 4 years of promoting a conference and I don't do a handover to my Padawan, everything I've learned, everything I figured out is lost for the community. It would go away with me, and I achieved nothing. The same with the meetup. If I left and didn't, I don't know, write down the guide or just widened the team, or like, you know, chose Milan that you are here from the beginning and you know everything how it's done, some continuity and so on. I've seen meetups like ending. I've seen things not continuing, and I'm really proud that this worked out, and that like this works. And sharing tasks and raising Padawans postpones the burnout. That's another lesson. Create a life cycle of motivations. So we've seen this picture already, but it's actually more awesome than this. It's like this, and this is like super complicated diagram, but I'll explain. So this factor you already know, but so it starts with an attendee. The way PyLadies actually work is because they can rotate the roles thanks to a life cycle of motivations. You get attendees to the course because they want to learn programming. And they learn programming for free. So, some of them, at least, they want to give back to the community because they got a course for free. And we made it easy for them to transition to at least 2 roles. One is to transition to be a co-organizer. And there is a bug, wants to teach, that's a bug. He wants to organize. I noticed it in the morning and still didn't fix it. So, won't fix. So, easy transition to be an organizer, because they attended the courses, they've seen the organizers there, they've seen the job they did, so perhaps it's not so difficult for them, and they don't need to know programming for their job, they just need to organize, right? Just. So, so another possible transition is also easy, because on the PyLadies courses there is a lecturer who leads the lesson, but also there are coaches who basically work in the field and help people who are struggling with something. And you can help, and those are like, you know, this lady is struggling with something, so I approach and help to resolve the problem. Usually it's like missing semicolon or something, really, colon, and so to do a coach is not that difficult, and especially on the lessons which are in the beginning of the course, where the people are actually learning strings or if and else and so on, and even like a graduate of the course from the previous semester can come to these lessons and actually help the people with their problems. And they can usually help them better than the seasoned programmers because they are closer to their thinking. They had these problems half a year ago, so they know how to explain the solutions. Not like, I had this problem 15 years ago, so it's easy for them to transition to be coaches. So that's another motivation, that's great. And we get coaches from attendees, and we get coaches from other people just volunteering and coming from companies to coach there. And they see the lecturer who is teaching the lesson, and they realize, hey, maybe I could get better at teaching, maybe I could do that as well. If you rotate the lectures and every lecture is done by a different lecturer, they can step in, they can try an easy lecture, like I tried strings this semester, and got good feedback. So they can try, and they can basically graduate to lecturers. They can get better at teaching and so on. So there's this whole life cycle of motivations which drives people to stick around, to transition in roles, and basically to get the machine going. And it's good because people don't burn out when they're at the same role for too long. Volunteering must not feel like a job. Volunteering is about your free time, and your free time, your rules. That means if you don't have the free evening you thought you would have, you're completely free not to dedicate it to the community work because it's your free time. It's you're not paid for it, and you should be always it shouldn't be a shame to say I can't do this because I have other priorities in my life, right? But at the same time, you should over-communicate and don't let people assume. Let people know that you're working, because then they know that you're tasked with bringing speakers to a conference. So you should basically send explicit and very often updates hey, I got this speaker, or I'm working on these now, and it's going well, it's going wrong. Because usually the communication is over some chat, and it's asynchronous, and people just don't know whether you're working or not, whether they can count on you, whether you're failing to find the free time you thought you might have or might not have. And these updates really help to build confidence that the work you promised will be done. Also let people know you're not working. I have a really difficult exam in university, and I thought that I'll pass, but I didn't pass. So I have to study now a lot. I can't dedicate my time to this community work. And that should be totally okay to say. There should be no blame. But you have to say it, in that particular moment, you know it. You shouldn't feel bad for that. People shouldn't make you feel bad for that. But because then, in that environment, you will go and say it in time, and they can replace you, or they can do it instead of you. But if you don't, and you're just silent, and you're feeling guilty in your corner and studying math, for the exam, they'll find out the day before they need the work done, and that's harming everyone and everywhere. That's bad. So I say no blame, and I don't think responsibility is the right word here. In volunteering, I think replaceability has higher value. Common goals can beat antipathies. This point is here just because of Ruby community, I don't know. I just wanted to say that in Python community I always liked that we were able to talk each other and drink together and kind of be humans to each other, and it always beaten all antipathies, because I've seen other communities, I won't name it, to break down and kind of, people thinking, oh, he's weird and she's weird and I won't friend with them, so then you have two meetups on the same topic in one city and so anyway. So, number 9, control is less than service and unification is less than federation. That's a lot of strange words, but I'll try to explain. So, from the very beginning, we talk, visit and work across towns. It was always like Brno, Prague, okay, we know about each other, we synchronize on certain things, we talk to each other either by emails or later by Slack. We kind of always were together discussing stuff. And this approach was kind of native to the community from the very beginning, and it stuck around until these times. So we talk, visit and work across all groups today. We have PyLadies, PyData, PyCon, all groups, not just the meetups, right? And there is no boss. Nobody tells anyone what to do. And it could look like this. We would have the non-profit, which has power and does decisions and tells people what to do, and they do the work. I don't know, it could look like this. But it doesn't look like this. It looks like, oh, it's actually my phone, sorry. It looks like this. So the people are their own bosses. They do their stuff. They know how to do it or what to do. They do it because they want to do it. It's what they love to do. They spend their free time with it, right? And they have all the power and decisions and yeah. The non-profit is there to provide services. It provides Slack, it provides money, it provides accounting, it provides, I don't know, GDPR consulting. So we're there when they need us, and we don't tell them what to do. And this model proved to be very strong and very flexible. So control is less than service, at least in the world of the Czech Python community. Another thing which I learned is sometimes it's like because we are always, from the very beginning we are used to unify together and be friends by default and, try to people feel bad if they should go around something which is standard in the community and so on. And so there was an event like PyWorking, and they felt really bad for we want a site for our event, but there is this Pyvo.cz which holds the meetups, and somehow it doesn't work well if we stick it there. It is an event, but it is not Pyvo, and somehow I would need to learn all this complicated code base, and perhaps it still doesn't fit that much. And yeah, unification, just for the purpose of unification, is complicated, and it can inhibit innovation. It can inhibit people coming with new things. So what actually proved to be better is federation. So you have sites, or you have website for each of the activities. They do their own stuff. They are their own bosses. They don't need to unify on the level of, I don't know, web page. They can do whatever they want. And then you have a place where you aggregate. So PyWorking has events, Pyvo has events, and then you go to python.cz for events, and you see all the events. Easy. If PyData comes, it's easy as that to bring it there. No hassle, no friction. So I think unification, I think federation wins over unification. Another thing, open by default drives engagement. We have this Slack. It's for organizers and activists in the Python community. And by default, everything is in open channels. We have some secret channels, like you see Pivot's board for super secret conversations of the board members of Pivot's, which are almost none, because really the policy is we don't talk anything which can be public or in the public channels shouldn't be in the private channels. And the reason is, then you invite a person as a Pi Data organizer. And the person goes around the Slack, you know, and watches like, oh, there's this channel and that channel, and they see, well, Pi Ladies channel, what is that? And suddenly you see them coaching at the Pi Ladies courses, and like in a month, you see they discover the PyCon CZ channel, and kind of they're contributing with the PyData track to the conference, so suddenly Ostrava PyCon has a PyData track. It's like, wow! So really this openness drives engagement. Another thing, public relations is also work. This is very personal. So I always felt really bad because I knew there are people who know everything and work a lot and don't spend their life on Facebook and are invisible in some contexts. And I felt bad because I knew nothing. I founded the Pyvo because I knew nothing, right? So I knew nothing. I talk a lot, I write a lot, I share stuff on Facebook, and I'm celebrated because people see me everywhere. And I felt really bad because, you know, it's so fake, it's so superficial and undeserved and everything. And but over time, and I think it kind of changed when I joined the PyCon CZ organizers team, where really I felt like the public relations is a job. Public relations is important. It sells the work of others. It's important. It's an honest work, and it is a skill not so many people can do, and not so many people want to be so visible. So I realized over time that actually I'm perhaps doing a service for the people who don't want to be that visible by being so visible and taking the burden of it. Because for someone it can be a burden. For me, it's just a couple of beers. So modesty is okay, but self-loathing is not. And yeah, hello, imposter syndrome. And the last point, I'm sorry for such a long talk, is community work pays off. I like to create stuff which helps others, and this gets a bit weird because I neglect myself to go for a bike because it doesn't help anyone, right? Why would I do it? But that's a bit sick. I don't recommend you to think like that. Helping others is a great feeling, but I have to say, in the beginning I did it for the great feeling, but I got paid off like a lot. Like I've invested tons of free time, and I've got tons of friends, opportunities, soft skills. As an introvert, that was hard. References and good job offers back. Like if you look at my GitHub profile, like I don't have anything interesting there. Like everything I can say has any value is on the Pivot's GitHub profile. I introduced myself as the author of Python.cz, right? So anything I did, like any value, yeah, I've learned open source, I've learned how to give a talk, or that's up to you to and being an introvert, I was forced into social skills, like calling to places where Pyvo should happen in 2 hours because they closed the other place, and you know I had to get my job done regardless of my anxieties, because like the Pyvo just had to happen. By the way, I'm still not able to call my dentist. And it is not because I'm afraid of dentists, because it's strangers. And I've learned how to organize an event, which proved to be useful at certain other occasions. And I would be basically nobody without the Python community. And I get free clothes. Yeah, we should do more T-shirts on the Python. I'm running out of them. So yeah, this is my 12 lessons learned. I'm glad to survive it with me. Yeah, that's it. That's all from me. Questions?
I got one. So, do you involve any project management while organizing anything there? Or it happens just happens?
Basically, I would say the most serious thing we organize is PyCon, the conference, and that requires project management. We call it like, or the person who does the project management is the head of conference. So it's hidden behind his name, like it's the director of the conference. But what they do is they, like majority of their time, I think they handle the top level stuff and they handle the project management. So the other people actually are delivering. And like the Gantt chart of what needs to be done at what part. Yeah. But the other activities, I would say they're well off with the punk approach.
Would you do anything differently with the present knowledge?
A lot of stuff. But no, I mean like, not really. Like this is, I don't know, it just happened to me. And it feels right because whatever was, I don't think there was anything which felt really like bad. I kind of managed, like, and I always got something nice out of it. Like, I remember when there was a PyCon for the first time in Brno, I think, and was it? And we felt it's a good idea to have a Pyvo the night before as a warm-up. And I remember I got drunk there, and Chris told me, "You're so talkative, you should definitely come to the stage in the morning and tell everybody something super motivational. You're so good at it." And yeah, I was drunk, so I agreed. And the next morning I woke up, I had a bit of a hangover, and at the same time they asked me like, "So you do it?" And I felt like, what? And then I just figured something out. I rehearsed at some hidden places of the place where the conference was, and it was super stressful, and it was super ugly before I gave the thing. I don't know what I was talking about because I don't remember it. I was so stressed. And I don't think it's recorded because I think they started recording after that. But I remember that it was totally super motivational. And people had tears in their eyes and almost like standing and stuff, you know. It was like, I felt like, yeah, we are here because, you know, I felt like Martin Luther King. And I have no idea what I told them because I don't remember it. Like, I totally forgot it because it was so stressful. So, yeah, it was like super bad situation, and I shouldn't have done that, or I don't know, but I kind of always, like, you know, the punk works. Like, you just try it, and people don't know that it should have been a different way.
Maybe a second question, the personal interactions at the beginning of meetup, was there from the beginning, or it was added like on the
personal interactions, or
like at the beginning where we are all interacting with ourselves?
Oh, interactions. Yeah. Well, it wasn't there, I think. They started to do it in Prague, and we felt like it's a good idea, so we started to do this here as well.
This is very
Yeah, but that also can lead to interesting patterns.
And what?
Like, a lot of time it was like, hey, I'm from Red Hat, hey, I'm from Red Hat. At times we had like half and half, Red Hat and Cessna. Then they disappeared, so we were Red Hat. Then a couple of weird people came and sometimes returned.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting how companies shift, right?
Yeah.
You see still the same people at the meet, but
They change
it's Red Hat and it's not, then it's Kiwi, you know. That's what people does to you, you know. That's the networking part.
So did you actually manage to learn Python over these 9 years?
So I still feel like there are people who know more, but yeah, I know some Python. Like I managed to learn Python. I'm probably not a big expert, but yeah, it's like I have to admit, like for last 5 years, I was paid for writing JavaScript in my job. But everything I did in my free time, and that is quite a lot actually, I did it in Python. So I should still be up to date. But just today I answered on Twitter that I didn't learn the type annotations yet, and you know, there's still something to learn. I'm the PR of the community. I'm not the brains. Good. So beers?